Hi, I'm Amanda from GetALifeAtSea.com and I'm a cruise employment specialist. Today we're going to be talking about the top 3 tips for Americans applying to cruise lines. Okay, so let's do a little introduction as to Americans working on board cruise ships. If you've ever cruised before, you've probably noticed there is not a lot of American crew on board most major cruise lines. And usually that has to do with the fact that most major lines have major head offices based in the US. And because of that, if they do have American crew working on board, they do need to tax those American crews. So the job on board isn't as enticing sometimes as it is to other nationalities who don't get taxed with regards to their wages. So that is kind of one reason why you might not see a lot of Americans on board. But that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of Americans that would like to work on board. So here are my top 3 tips again with regards to things that you should keep in mind if you're an American applying for a job on a cruise ship. So number 1, as I've already noted, a lot of head offices for cruise lines are in the US. So when you're sending your resume as an American to the head office of a cruise line, your resume is coming in with thousands of others from all over the world. And so you're really competing with a huge number of applicants. Those same applicants often usually have their own home offices that they're able to apply to, but sometimes they're also applying to the head office. So their home offices in other countries might only be getting 200 to 300 applications a day, whereas a head office in a US based main office for a cruise line is getting thousands. So your resume as an American can sometimes get lost in the pile. So one of my tips, number 1, would be as an American, see if you can apply to not only the head office of the cruise line if it's in the US, but also the Canadian official hiring partner for that cruise line. Sometimes the Canadian official hiring partner for that particular line may be able to hire you as an American because those two offices have very close ties. And because the Canadian office is going to most likely have way less applications coming in than a head office in the US, then there's way less competition for you with regards to getting your applications seen. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to apply to other companies that are not based in the US. So other cruise lines that do not have head offices in the US. So companies like P&O UK or P&O Australia, Cunard. Cunard does have a head office in the US, but they also have another office in the UK. So as an American, try to find lines as well that are not based in the US. So again, you're not competing with those thousands of applications. That's another tip. And then number 3, my final tip, as an American, you can also apply to Norwegian Cruise Lines, which has a particular ship called Pride of America, which does the Hawaiian island runs. And because that ship only stays in Hawaii in American ports, they need to staff that ship with all American crew. So getting on board with that company is a really good in for Americans because they have that ship that has to have all American crew. And the reason that is that any ship that only does American ports must abide by what's called the Jones Act. And that means they must have all American crew. So that is a great company to apply to as well if you are thinking of wanting to get on an all-American cruise ship. So those are my top tips for Americans wanting to work on a cruise line. Do feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want more information about cruise employment tips. I also am on Periscope 2 to 5 times a week, so you can chat with me live if you'd like to follow me there at Get a Life at Sea. I also have a Facebook page you can like, and you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram or Google+. So those are all the different ways you can contact me. Of course, you can go to my site, www.getalifeatsea.com, and contact me through my contact page. Want really specific information on how the heck to get a job on a cruise ship, be sure to check out my guide. And again, you can check that out at getalifeatsea.com/guide or just under the Work With Me section on my site. And in that guide includes all the information that you need to know with regards to applying to every major cruise line out there, including clickable employment links and step-by-step instructions. The guide also has tons of bonus information like benefits and challenges to working on board a cruise ship, shipboard structure and hierarchy information, cruise line resume and template information, interview tips and also interview questions that you can ask during your cruise employment interview. So do check that out. Again, you can just check under Work With Me on my site, or just go to getalifeatsea.com/guide. Okay, thanks so much for joining me. Again, I do look forward to seeing you next time, and happy sailing.